Alright, so what we're going to do is a simple screw. I'm not going to exactly give you the exact right dimensions because I can't remember them off my top of my head, but we can give just a general type design. So what we're going to do first is do the hex head. So let's do a polygon. You do a polygon, you gotta select in the center of your circle, or actually before you do that, you hit polygon, it's gonna ask you how many sides you want. Hex 8, right? Yeah, 8. So let's do 8 instead of 4. You gotta select the center, it's gonna be the center of our screen. You can be in top view, you can be in front view, it's up to you. I prefer using top. Select the center of the screen. Inscribed, circumscribed, don't worry about that right now. I think you guys went over that already. We're just going to use inscribed. And we're going to pick a size of about inch, so 1. It might be big, might be small. If it's big or small, just all you have to do is double click your scroller and it'll zoom in. It's like zoom extents almost. Actually, it is zoom extents, zoom in. Alright, we have that. Our next thing we're going to do is draw a circle in that. Oh, I should draw a circle first. Oh well. So we don't have the center of the hexagon. We'll have to draw some reference lines to get to the center. So if you drew a line from one end to the other end, you will have your midpoint, which is the center of the circle. Our diameter will be, which is I'm going to D for diameter, 0.75. So again, our hexagon was 1 inch, I believe. Yeah, 1 inch radius. That was the radius, 1 inch. And this is a diameter of 0.75. Okay. Once we have that, what you want to do is you can delete that center line. That was just to help us find where the circle center would be. What we're going to do is go to a isometric view. You can go over here, view, 3D views, isometric, there we go. Or you can use that box over here and select it. Next is we're going to extrude both the hexagon and the circle. Hexagon will go negative Z, circle will go positive Z. First we go with the hexagon, we go to extrude, you can type in EXT. You select the hexagon, enter, and we go down ½ inch, 0.5. Looks like mine went up. That's okay. I'm going to change actually my visual view to conceptual because I prefer it. It makes me see things better. I can see now that the circle is at the bottom, not at the top. If I do a blue box, you can see that too. So I actually have to move this down. I'm going to select that object. I'm going to move, use the M enter or move command. I'm going to select from one edge over here to the other edge. That will move my object, my hexagon, solid piece. Alright, so I have my circle. I'm going to take that circle, I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to extrude it, what is that? So that's 6. I'm looking at the X and Y coordinates. It helps me out to figure out. So there's 15. There's 1 inch, 2 inch. Well, never mind. That's X and. All right, never mind. 2 inches works for me. All right, so I have the hex head, and I have the body of the screw. So the next thing is I need to draw a helix that goes around, which is where how the thread will be set up. To do this, you can use helix. Well, actually, that's not helix. Helix, or you can go to draw helix. Select that. You will select the center of the cylinder. Yes, and a quadrant of the circle, like so. You do that again. and then we're gonna go downwards. So you're just moving your mouse down. You're gonna get increased number of turns. I'm gonna increase the turns, so T for turns. And instead of 3 right now, I'm gonna say I have 2 inches, 3, 5, no, 10. Enter. And now it's gonna ask you for the height, which I can do 2 inches, which will go all the way to the hex side, or I can reduce it to about 1.5. Now if it moves to the top, that's okay, because all you have to do is move it back down the distance you made it, 1.5. So you get something like this. I'm going to go over it again. Now if you guys did your own sizes, it will cause issues. So here it is something important we have to go through. Once you have your object, we want to go to a side view, so you can do front view, back, right side, left side, so you can see the helix going down, spiraling down. What is important is for us to find out what the distance is from one helix turn to the other, so one wavelength to the next wavelength. To do that, you use your dimension tool. You can go to your, what is it? Where's dimensions? Dimension tool, linear, and you're just estimating. It doesn't have to be perfect. No, you know what? I forget. I have to change my UCX. So make sure your X and Y are shown, not Z or X or Y and Z. So you can change that by using your UCX2. To open that up, all you have to do is right click on one of the toolbars, and it's going to be, wow, you got so many options, UCS2, or you can go to view, and here's going to be your UCX also. Use front. So now you can see that I changed that to Y and Z coordinates. Again, I'm going to show you exactly. Yeah, that way. No, that's not the one I want because I see Z. The one I want to see is X and Y, so I did this front. Yeah. Here may be different. It's okay as long as you see X and Y. That way, when you draw dimensions, dimensions are usually drawn on X and Y coordinates.
How did it change? I mean,
you have to select. If yours default front or world, you have to change these. Let me go to and see what's going on. For everybody else who has this set up already, all you have to do is dimension it around close enough to see what dimension is. You can adjust it. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as we know what size about. Alright, so once you have that dimension, whatever that is, we're going to design the piece, and we're going to go a little bit smaller than that. So I'm going to do, since we're already on the X and Y coordinates are set up, we can just draw it here. Not a big deal. Make sure your ortho's on. We go down, for me it's going to be 1.125. Okay, and now the depth, it all depends actually. I'm going to go 0.05. And for the actual width, the inside width, this was 1.25, so I'm going to do maybe half that, 0.625. Oops, oh sorry, it's 0.0625. So line 0.0625. Notice that I just drew it on somewhere on the side. I didn't, click anywhere here because I'm just going to move it over by midpoints. So move, select the midpoint to the midpoint, to the end point here. Going to delete that line. I'm going to draw closing in lines here, and I have my piece that I need that's going to be revolving around here. Once you have that piece, you want to make sure it's a polyline. Right now you can see it's each segmented line. You can do it a couple different ways. You can use p-edit, which is polyline edit. P-edit, typed it in, enter. M for multiple, enter. Select the object, enter, enter, and then J for join. Don't worry, I'm going to go over this again. If you're watching the video, you can watch it again. And it should make it a polyline. So now if I select it, it's one piece. Okay. Okay, our next step would be to make this. Actually, I just showed it to you guys. Alright, once you have this object drawn out, the cutting plane or cutting object, you no longer need the dimension, or you could leave it. It's up to you. I'm just going to leave mine for now. And what you're going to do is 3D rotate. Oh, that dimension is in the way. And we're going to move over this object. For now, closer or attached to your cylinder. That way, if you're rotating, you won't lose it somewhere. So I know it's always going to be there. The only thing next I need to find is where is the beginning of my helix. Now you can hover over to your helix and see where it's starting. It started right there. Or you can just visually see where the lines are going. And somewhere right there. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to make sure this object is at the end of the helix. To do that, there's a few options. First, I'm going to move it. So I'm going to move command the midpoint over here to the quadrant. It snapped onto the quadrant, which was the end of the helix. You can see the helix. You can see that. Now, if yours is the other way around, or it's upside down, or anything, that's perfectly fine. As long as you have it in the center of your back, the larger piece, midpoint of the longer piece of the object, then it's fine. If it's not, you can move it again until you have that. Once you have that established, what you want to do is select your object that you designed, the polyline actually. And what we're going to do is go to our 3D rotate. So you go to modify, 3D operations, 3D rotate. I'll leave that up for a couple of seconds so you guys can see where I got it. I'll go over it one more time once we do this. So 3D rotate, I'm going to, here you have to play around, try to figure out exactly what you're going to be using. And I recommend using the blue one first, which is the Z-axis. And it's going to rotate it around based on that center of that object and the Z-axis. It's rotated. It's something like what I need, except I need this to be over here. So I'm going to move it over. Oh, sorry. Move it over, center to that quadrant. Yep. Now you can see it's inside the cylinder, and that is perfect. That is what I'm looking for. We'll use that to revolve around the helix and then subtract it from our cylinder. So I'm going to leave that there for now. And once you have this set up, what you want to do is use sweep command. So you go to home over here, you can use sweep command. Wait, where is my sweep? Wait, where? Okay, it's going to be here, sorry. Sweep, or you can go to draw, modeling, sweep. You can select your object. I'm using a blue box because it only selects anything that's inside the blue box, nothing else. So even though I am touching my helix and cylinder, it will not select it because it's not entirely inside the box. You do that, you select that object, you click enter. It's going to ask you to select a sweep path, and that's the helix. Like so. Helix, yes. And it should go around it perfectly like so. And you don't have to click enter or escape, it's already done. What you want to do next after you do that is subtract. Use the subtract command. You select the large cylinder because that's what you're subtracting from. I think yeah, enter. Then you select the object you're subtracting, which is the helix type device that you created. Enter. And hopefully your computer doesn't freeze and you have yourself some cool screw. Again, the only problem is, well, this is a regular screw. It's not, sharp end screw, so that might be an issue. Or we could actually extend that by stringing this out. Enter. You can do it this way. It doesn't have to be that way, and then just subtract it too. Enter, enter, done. So I have something like that. And that's my screw.